On the evening of February 24, 1986, John Ruetten arrived home in the Van Nuys section of Los Angeles, California, to discover the lifeless, bloody remains of his 29-year-old wife, Sherri Rasmussen. She was lying on the floor with bullet wounds in her body. John had married the beautiful, athletic nurse only 3 months earlier. LAPD homicide detectives arrived at the scene, accompanied by a CSI team. John told detectives that the garage door was open and Sherri's silver BMW, which he had bought as an engagement gift, was missing. He explained that Sherri had stayed home from work due to a strained back. The scene suggested a violent struggle had taken place. Broken glass was scattered across the floor, a TV was smashed, and documents from a drawer were dumped on the floor. Oddly, John noticed their marriage certificate was missing, a detail that baffled the detectives. Detective Lyle Mayer quickly concluded that Sherri had interrupted a burglary. He theorized that two men had broken in, and one of them went upstairs, where Sherri confronted him, leading to her murder. Mayer's theory was supported by a recent burglary in the area where another woman had been killed in a similar manner. Two Hispanic men were vaguely described as suspects in that case. A maid working nearby reported hearing loud noises from the Ruetten residence but didn't see anyone or call the police. 10 days later, Sherri's BMW was found abandoned with the keys still in the ignition, but no fingerprints were recovered. The medical report revealed that Sherri had been shot 3 times with a .38 caliber pistol, once in the heart, once in the back, and once in the chest. She had also been beaten with a blunt object. An LAPD criminalist made a critical discovery when he swabbed saliva from a bite mark on Sherri's hand, likely inflicted during the attack. Sherri's parents, Nels and Loretta Rasmussen, flew in from Arizona, devastated by their daughter's death. They pressed Detective Mayer for answers, but he remained focused on the burglary theory and dismissed John as a suspect. Nels mentioned that Sherri had been threatened by a woman who had dated John before their marriage, but Mayer didn't pursue this lead. As time passed, Sherri's case went cold, one of many unsolved murders in Los Angeles. However, in 1998, the FBI created the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS, allowing detectives to compare DNA samples from crime scenes with profiles in a national database. In 2001, the LAPD Cold Case Unit received a $50 million grant to fund DNA testing for unsolved murders, including Sherri's. In September 2003, a DNA analysis was requested for the evidence from Sherri's murder, but it inexplicably languished. Finally, in December 2004, LAPD criminalist Jennifer Butterworth tested the evidence, including a broken fingernail and a blood-stained towel. Butterworth also noted a swabbed bite mark, but couldn't locate the saliva sample initially. After a frantic search, the medical office found it. The DNA analysis revealed a mixture of 2 profiles, one matching Sherri's and the other belonging to an unknown person. However, when the unknown profile was entered into CODIS, there was no match, indicating the killer was not in the database. Intriguingly, the DNA indicated that the killer was a woman. Without a suspect, the case stalled again. However, in February 2009, LAPD detectives Pete Barba and Jim Noodle reopened the investigation. They focused on the DNA evidence, realizing that the original theory of 2 male burglars didn't fit the forensic findings. As they reviewed the case files, Noodle came across the name Stephanie Lazarus, who was listed as John Ruetten's ex-girlfriend. The notation P.O. police officer next to her name caught their attention. Noodle contacted Nels Rasmussen, who confirmed that Lazarus was an LAPD officer. Noodle and Barba were shocked at the possibility that a fellow officer might have committed the murder. They discovered that Lazarus had joined the LAPD in 1983 and had been promoted to detective in 1993. She was now assigned to the art theft detail. Further investigation revealed that shortly after Sherri's murder, Lazarus had reported her .38 caliber pistol stolen, a weapon that matched the caliber used in the killing. The detectives knew they had to be careful. They couldn't risk alerting Lazarus to their investigation. They decided to obtain her DNA covertly. On May 27, 2009, they followed Lazarus during her off-duty hours and retrieved a cup she had discarded. The DNA from the cup was tested against the saliva from the bite mark, and on May 29th, the lab confirmed a match. The detectives then briefed the district attorney's office and made plans to arrest Lazarus. On June 5, 2009, Lazarus was brought to Parker Center Jail Division for an interview. Once there, Stearns and Jaramillo revealed that the interview was actually about Sherri Rasmussen's murder. Lazarus seemed shocked but maintained her innocence, claiming she had nothing to do with the killing. As the questioning intensified, Lazarus became visibly agitated, eventually asking if she needed a lawyer. When she left the room, the detectives followed her and arrested her for the murder of Sherri Rasmussen. The arrest of Sergeant Stephanie Lazarus, a veteran LAPD detective, for a murder committed 23 years earlier sent shockwaves through the department. The bite mark, initially overlooked, had ultimately unraveled the case of murder. Lazarus was convicted of first-degree murder in 2012 and is serving a sentence of 27 years to life at the California Institution for Women in Corona.